We're coming to you, maybe. Yes, we are. We're coming to you from the cast party for Memphis the Musical, Tutz's newest production happening right here in Houston at the Hobby Center. I'm here with my good friend, Walt Ziprian.
Hello, I'm Walt.
And throughout the evening, we're going to be drawing 2 pair of tickets for you to come and see the show. So, ask your questions. Make comments. Walt will be following along. Right, Walt?
On Facebook.
He's on Facebook. So, you must be watching us if you even hear us talking right now. Call your friends, message them, tell them, because we've got the 2 stars of the show with us. You're not going to want to miss this. It's a pretty loud party because we got a band behind us, so we're going to try and stay loud enough where you can hear us. Walt, who are my guests?
Well, we have Simone Gundy, who plays Felicia.
Let's say hello. How are you? And you know, I have to tell you, on stage, I was going to say on TV, on stage, you read much older, and you come and you're like a little girl. You're so young.
I am. I'm a little girl. Listen to him. He's a wise man.
But she and she's not on stage alone. There's an entire, full, wonderful cast, but she has a co-star.
Barrett Riggins, who plays Huey.
Hey, Barrett.
Hello. Hi, yes.
Okay, anybody who's seen the show or anybody who's going to come see the show, the first thing they're going to want to do is actually hear your voice.
Right, so yes, this is my real speaking voice, sans the dialect and constriction. But
does doing Huey louse up your voice? Is it hard to do all that?
It's not easy, but I'm pacing it out. So I'm happy to have my mornings free now that we're officially open to sleep it out.
Okay, one of you gets the enviable task of describing briefly what the show's about. Who would like to do it?
Yeah, I can do it. So Memphis is about this. A wacky young man named Huey Calhoun.
And who plays that wacky young man?
Played by this guy right here with his unremarkable dialect. So he becomes this DJ who is the very first person to play African-American black music on the radio. And he falls in love with a singer. And it's all about the sort of his ascent and then fall as at the time that was very... that was very taboo, exactly, yeah. So, and about how this music has really connected all these people.
So, Simone, let me ask you, the story itself, the plot, it takes place, I guess, mid to late 50s into the 60s. How truthful is it? Is there a real story it's kind of based on, or was it totally fiction?
I mean, it's based on the real life of Dewey Phillips, who was an actual DJ.
So it was a real person.
And
well,
Memphis.
Look how good my
So they just kind of changed the
was.
name up a little bit, but it is based loosely on him. And absolutely, I think that's why it's so relatable, because it is a real thing. I'm sure, even to this day, interracial relationships of any person of color and non-person of color is still sort of a thing. You know, there's still some places where it's not looked at as a great thing. So I definitely think it was somewhere in Memphis on Beale Street. It was a real story. Somebody was up in there falling in love with somebody they wasn't supposed to fall in love with.
Surprising to either of you that the story that takes place 50, 60, oh my God, almost 70 years ago is still so relevant today. Because it's kind of disturbing how current it feels for a lot of the things.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but I think being able to see it in a safe space, I always think theater is such a safe space to make people feel uncomfortable, to make people face things that they might have in the back of their minds that they don't know, to make people face some hard truths. And music is a universal thing, so all the music in it is just it's so wonderful, it's so explosive, it's emotional, and I think it resonates with people because love and music are 2 things that you just can't fight. You don't have a choice. And so I think that's going to be a story that's going to be forever. You know, that's going to be something that people can relate to forever, no matter what time period, no matter what generation, it doesn't matter. So
well, I want to remind all of you out there, as we're chatting, your comments, your questions, Walt's going to share them with us. Walt, what do you have for me?
Well, Heidi Gilroy says, hi, Walt. Hi, Heidi. And Peter Michael Krupa says hello. And Brandon Doan actually has a question.
Thank you, Brandon.
He wants to know if the actors have any favorite songs in the show.
Do we have a favorite song in the show?
Memphis Lives in Me is a wonderful ballad near the end of Act 2. I feel very, very honored to be able to sing. It's a really great tune, and I like that one a lot.
He's so cute, everyone. Isn't very cute. My favorite song would have to be Level Stand. It's definitely, I'm like a hopeless romantic, so it just kind of gets me in the soft spot. So I love it. That's one of my favorite songs.
Now, I know we've been talking about the serious elements of the show, but I think the interesting thing is it has that level, but it's also joyous and fun and full of energy.
Absolutely.
And the music and the visual and the dancing. And for us, the most exciting part of it, locally produced right here in Houston. And that is so cool to have, that an arts organization of this caliber is saying, we've got talent here too. And it's kind of part of the story of Memphis, which is your character believes in his hometown and says that's where there's power too. So I do want to bring up one other serious moment, then we'll go back to Walt and see what's going on. There is the use of the N-word in the show. And I thought it was fascinating when it's said, and it's set in a period where it would not have been uncommon for that word to have been used, especially the way they're using it in the show. There are gasps in the audience, and I heard people say, oh my. It's shocked, and I think that's great that it's shocked. I thought it was so important. Your guys' thoughts on it. When you're going through a read-through and you hit it, what happens in the rehearsal hall?
I mean, it has to be said. Because like I said, the theater is a safe place to make people feel those feelings. It's not supposed to be censored. It's not supposed to be, it's almost counterproductive to censor it because it gives it back power that it should not have. So I think that us saying it is true to the time, and that's what people deserve when they come to see a show. They deserve a true story, whether it's in a fictional or not, they deserve a realness on stage. And that's what people come to see. They don't just come to see joyous. I mean, they love that, but they come to see, art imitating life and all of its, different shades and colors. And so it has to be said. It has to be done. Somebody's got to do it, and actors are up to the task.
How did you feel?
Yeah, I mean, Memphis, even though it's really fun and joyous, it's not a bubblegum pop show, and, the usage of that word happens really early in the show, and I think it's important to remind people as they sit down to watch a musical, sometimes we flip that switch off and assume we're just going to be watching pure escapism, and I think it's so important to have that reality put in there, and then it's not, I don't think it's gratuitously laid into in the show, but to remind early on that is the people that are against Huey and the people
I think what it helps for me as an audience member is it makes, because you are so joyous, so beautiful up there, and the music is so lovely, you forget what that character must have been dealing with on a daily basis. So hearing it reminds us and puts us back. It wasn't all just a musical of lovely color and dance and song. There was serious issues going on. I thought it was really well.
And I think it really sets the tone, because later in the show, Huey's able to say ridiculous things and take off his clothes on live TV. Nothing happens. And then, spoiler, I guess, but a certain intimate moment that he instigates on screen in his TV show is what creates the whole, downfall. So it's important, I think, to set those stakes early on.
I want to ask Walt, somebody has just joined us. Who is it?
It's Warren Nolan, who plays Del Rey in the show.
Don't you love the way we do this?
He's coming to protect me.
I'm like, what you doing with my sister?
I think you're going to have to go closer into the mic. It's a loud room.
I was trying to figure out what you were doing with my sister. I thought we figured this out already.
Well, Warren plays her brother in the show, and is not all too fond of our little friend at the end here.
I mean, he's an acquired taste. I think somehow by the end, we figured it out by the end a little bit.
Now, if I am not mistaken, both of the gentlemen on our panel have been in American Idiot, correct? Were you in the same show?
I was American Idiot. No, I wasn't.
You weren't in American Idiot?
I was American Idol.
American Idol!
Yes.
And an American Idiot. I see how this works. And then you were in The Voice. So I got a voice, an idol, and an idiot.
That sounds about right.
Well, while that's going on, let's check in with Walt and see what's going on social media.
Yes, Natalie Guzman says Simone. And Brandon Doan.
Oh, she just says Simone?
Yeah, she just says Simone. So
I love her so much. I love you.
Brandon Doan has another question. He wants to know if this was your first time playing Memphis.
All of you. Did all of you do it before?
I had the opportunity for the first national, but I happened to not be able to go into the final callbacks. I wasn't able to go into the final callbacks for the first national. I was I was in this weird place where I was doing like a muggle job for like 4 years. I was selling apartments in the suburbs of Chicago because I had performed and I was just like, okay, I'm tired. I want to pay my bills on time. And so I started that for like 4 years, and the call came and I submitted a video, and I think I got a call back, but it was just like I wasn't able to get to the city. And so it was just like, maybe it'll happen again. And then it happened in full circle 4 years later.
Well, how cool.
Or 6 years
It
later.
was meant to be.
It was.
So tell me a little about American Idol.
I mean, I did it in 2004. I was 8 years old at the time.
What was 2004 like?
I mean, it was a time before cell phones and no, but I got to
You were all
like the top
excited.
44.
Your pager went off, and you knew you'd gotten
I was
it,
like,
right?
oh goodness, what is that? 143.
She doesn't even know what you're talking
143,
about.
Somebody loves me.
So who are your judges, and who did you like?
I had Simon, Paul, and Randy, and Brandy was my judge in San Francisco, and then I got all the way through Hollywood, and I got cut right before they went live.
Oh.
But I went so far that I could never go back. So
That's how it works?
Oh yeah, they don't want the ones who make it into the
the
end.
year that I went on,
My chance. I've never been.
so yeah.
Okay, Simone, I'm gonna ask you that. Tell me a little about The Voice for you.
The Voice. It's such a well-oiled machine. No, it was great. It was an amazing experience. I made it to top 20.
Whose team?
I was on Team Adam.
Oh, my mom would love you. She has this thing
Team
for Adam.
He is amazing. He is wonderful in real life. Like, he's wonderful. But my experience there was amazing. The people I gained friends that I still talk to this day. The Voice, it taught me a lot of things. I'm not a shy individual, but it really helps us even more, kind of help me refine my stage presence and help me to connect to different audiences doing different types of numbers and different types of songs. So it was great. It was
Well, they
an amazing
obviously
experience.
trained you well.
Yes, they
But I
did.
have to say, I can't understand how after seeing this tonight, how you didn't go all the way to the end.
But you know what? Everything happens for a reason, and Memphis.
Yeah, had you won that, you wouldn't be here with me right now.
Exactly.
So, hey,
like,
I
I'd be probably off somewhere doing something else, not as fun.
All right, Barrett, what was it like being an idiot?
Being an idiot is fun every day. Being in the show was also very fun. A rock opera by Green Day. I did it in school. It was fun.
All right, Walt's telling me we got some more going on. And I also want to ask social media folks, can you hear us clearly with this band going on? Message us and let us know.
Let me know. Hey, so Liberty Diana says, Aviance Hoyles. I don't. Does anyone?
He's a gator.
Aviance is playing the role of Gator
okay.
in our show.
All right.
You're not talking into a mic. No one can hear
He's
you.
absolutely phenomenal. Aviance is great. He plays Gator. He's amazing.
And Brandon Doan says we can hear you. Thank you, Brandon. Brandon also has
Thank you,
another
Brandon.
question.
Okay.
Do you relate to the characters you play in the show personally?
All right. Do you relate to the characters? And I'm also going to switch it a little bit on all of you. Which one of you is most like the character you play?
Woo!
Okay. Do you relate? And who's most like their character?
Do I relate? Yeah. In several ways. I mean, I'm black.
You are?
Yes. No, but all Felicia wants to do is, show the world her heart through music, and I so relate to that. I don't have to be Beyonce. I don't have to be Rihanna. I just want to be able to live comfortably doing only music all the time with my son and let him see me up there doing that. And
I'm going to get to you too in a second. I just want to follow up with one question for you. When you approach a character or you approach a song, do you do them differently or the same way?
ooh, like depending on the show or depending on.
Well, like if you have a show and you're preparing to sing a song in a show from a character, or you're given a great song and you're going to record it.
Oh,
do you approach
gotcha.
that differently, or is it the same mental process? We're getting very deep here for a moment.
That's an excellent question. Yes, I guess I, to an extent, I approach it in the same way because I had to be Felicia to sing the songs how Felicia would sing them. Simone wouldn't sing these songs necessarily the same way. And when I write a song, like I write all my music, and when I write a song, I listen to, sometimes if I have the music first, I listen to that and I just close my eyes and I think of how it makes me feel, and I write from that perspective, whether or not I'm going through that at the moment.
So it is kind of like finding the character.
Yeah, it's kind of like getting into the mind of whatever it is you're doing, whether that's the music or whether that's the character. So yeah, it's definitely a similar process, I would say.
Okay, back up to Warren now. So, do you relate to your character, and which one of the three of you is most like your real character, like the character you play?
I mean, I relate to the character in the sense that I'm always trying to find some humanity in every character that I play. I feel like Del Rey is a little different than me, though. I mean, he's more black and white than I am. I try to be a little bit more gray and a little bit more.
So which one of these two is more like their character?
No, I honestly, I'm thinking about their characters. I feel like it probably would be Simone, because Simone is like, she's about breaking those barriers and like being a trendsetter, and I think that's what Felicia is. She's like, she's willing to like do something that may not be the most conventional to get the effect, and I think that's very much who you are. I think also Barrett is, I think he's a lot more intelligent. Like,
in the role or in real life?
In the role. Like, I'm just like you are.
Okay, over to Barrett real quick because we're running out of time. Barrett, do you relate to your character? Is it you? And then of the three of you, who's the most alike?
I would say Simone is most like Felicia over there. But no, I certainly, yeah, you know, there are times I won't shut up, and there are times, you know, I think I can talk and talk and talk a lot, so I would share that with you. But overall, I think the thing that connects us is just a real deep love of music since we were young. And, you know, the song early on in the show, The Music of My Soul, I completely relate to that. And the first time you really connected to music on that level, I'll always remember that. And yeah, so.
Okay, I got one more thing for you. I've got casting advice. So they're doing the Cher show on Broadway next year, where Cher is played by three actresses, the singer, the actress, and the legend, of course. You've got to audition for Sonny Bono for the early years. That would be perfect for you.
The turtleneck.
I mean, the turtleneck, the whole thing. Anyway, we have come to the end of an Ernie Live because they're telling me you guys have to go party. So we're going to get the names. Oh, wait.
Aaron Seifert saw the show last night from row G, bragger, and he loved it. And he wants to give a shout out to Barrett after the show at the red light as you left. He waved at you at the red light.
Oh, hi, that was you. Sorry, I seemed a little startled. I didn't know how to not be, but I hope I wasn't unkind. Hi, thank you.
Okay, we have 2 pairs of tickets for 2 of our fans, viewers, watchers to actually go and see Memphis the Musical right here and see all of you guys in your role. So, who wants to draw the first lucky pair? Ladies first.
I like that.
They're in no hurry to leave. You can stay with us all night.
Peter Michael Croup the third.
Michael Cooper, you have won a pair of tickets to come and see Memphis the Musical here in Tuts at the Hobby Center. And who
said hello? That was all he said was hello. There was no question.
Oh, well, you still win. Okay, your turn. Here we go. And his lucky winner is
Aaron Seifert.
Aaron Seifert.
There's something really poetic and beautiful about that, don't you think?
You just won a pair of tickets to go and see Memphis the Musical at Tuts right here at the Hobby Center.
Sorry, Brandon. I know you were nervous, but you didn't win.
All right. I do want to tell you, there's going to be more Ernie Lives coming up later next month. Bright Star we're going to be doing, but starting Tuesday, this coming Tuesday, 3 p.m. in the afternoon on the Houston Public Media Facebook page. We're coming live from the rodeo every day at 3 p.m. for 3 weeks. So tune in and watch Ernie Live at the rodeo starting this Tuesday. Come back later in March so you can see Bright Star. Thanks to my 3 fabulous guests, an amazing show tonight. Last thing I could say about the show, midway through the first act, I had to remind myself I was watching a show. I had gotten so involved with who you all were and the characters. Thank you all for joining us. Thank you for watching. Remember, like the Houston Public Media Facebook page. Bye-bye.